The notification buzzed on my phone, a message from Aunt Margaret. I frowned, opening it. Just a short note. Sorry if this wasn't meant for you. Below it, a video file. I tapped play. Laughter filled my ears, sharp and cruel. Pathetic failure, a man's voice said. Uncle Robert. You'd think he'd at least try, another added. That was Daniel, my cousin. Then the worst, my father's voice. What did I tell you? He'd never make it. He's just nothing. More laughter. My chest tightened. I whispered, No, this can't be real. I sat frozen. Maybe he should move back in with his mom. My mother's voice joined in, low but cutting. Not that it would help. He's always been weak. I muttered, Mom, how could you? The video went on, voices overlapping, mockery, scorn, the sound of glasses clinking like they were celebrating my failure. I slammed pause. The screen froze on their smiling faces. My hands shook. Why would she send me this? I dialed Aunt Margaret. She picked up after a few rings. Hello? Aunt Margaret, what is this? My voice cracked, a long silence. Then, you weren't supposed to hear it. Then why did you send it? She sighed. Because you needed to know. They don't respect you not the way you think. I couldn't keep pretending. I pressed the phone harder to my ear. So, all those dinners, all those smiles, fake? I'm sorry, dear, she whispered. I shouldn't have, but you deserve the truth. I swallowed hard. The truth? The truth is they think I'm a joke. My own parents. Her silence told me she had no defense. I ended the call. For a long while, I sat in the dark, the glow of the frozen video on my phone screen. I replayed it again and again, like scratching an open wound. Each time, the words cut deeper. Pathetic, failure, weak, nothing. Finally, I yelled at the empty room, Is that all I am to you? My voice bounced off the walls, hollow. I couldn't breathe. My chest ached. I paced the apartment, gripping my hair. I trusted you. I believed you were proud of me. I opened the video one more time, forcing myself to listen from the start. Uncle Robert laughed. You know, he's like a stray dog. Can't fend for himself, keeps crawling back. Daniel chimed in. Yeah, a grown man still whining about life. It's embarrassing. If I were him, I'd disappear. Then the dagger, my father again. He already has disappeared. He's invisible because he's useless. I dropped the phone on the couch, shaking. My voice trembled. Dad, how could you say that? Tears blurred my vision, but I blinked them back. Crying felt like giving them more power. I whispered, I won't let you destroy me. But another thought crept in. What if they're right? The room spun with memories. My failed job interviews, my ex walking away, my empty bank account. Every failure echoed their laughter. I grabbed my phone again and dialed Aunt Margaret once more. She answered, voice soft. I didn't think you'd call back. I need to ask, did Mom laugh too? Her pause was answer enough. Yes, she finally said. She laughed. The words crushed me. My legs gave out and I sank onto the floor. I covered my face. I thought she loved me. She does, Aunt Margaret said quickly. But they influence her. She's afraid of your father. Always has been. I shook my head even though she couldn't see me. Love doesn't sound like that. I know, she whispered. I couldn't take it anymore. I have to go. I ended the call and sat in silence, staring at the floor until the lines blurred. Hours passed. The city outside moved on, cars honking, neighbors laughing. But inside me, everything was broken. At midnight, I turned the video on again, forcing myself to listen to every insult until the end. When the laughter finally died down in the recording, I realized I was laughing too. Quiet, bitter, broken. Pathetic failure, I repeated their words aloud, mocking myself. That's me, right? That's who I am to them. Then something shifted. My laughter stopped. My voice hardened. No, that's who I am to them. I stood, wiping my face. My heart still hurt, but a fire burned beneath the pain. If they wanted me to hear it, then I would make sure they heard themselves too. I stared at the video thumbnail on my screen. My aunt's message still above it. Sorry if this wasn't meant for you. I whispered, no, it was meant for me. It was always meant for me. That night I didn't sleep. I lay in bed, eyes wide open, the words circling in my head. Failure. Weak. Nothing. But for the first time, I wasn't only broken. I was angry. I walked across the apartment, each step echoing against bare walls. The silence pressed on me, heavier than their words. I muttered to myself, empty. Everything feels empty. The phone on the counter caught my eye. I picked it up, staring at the black screen. Should I call someone? Who would I even call? I scrolled through my contacts, names I hadn't dialed in months, friends who had drifted away, an ex who wouldn't want to hear my voice, family I couldn't stomach. I whispered, not one person I can lean on. The silence answered back. I dropped into a chair, my head filled with memories, smiles across dinner tables, forced laughs, hands on my shoulder. You'll be fine, I remembered my mother saying once. You'll figure it out. My father had added, already turning away. Their voices felt different now. Fake. I gritted my teeth. Every word, rehearsed, every smile, a lie. The memory of Daniel's smirk came back. Embarrassing. If I were him, I'd disappear. I slammed my fist against the table. Disappear? No, I'm still here. But another voice in me whispered, what if they're right? I stood, pacing the room. I lost the job, yeah, I lost her too. My chest burned. But that doesn't mean I'm nothing. The air felt thick, like the walls were closing in. I spoke louder, as if daring the silence to argue. I tried, I fought, I fell, yes. But I'm not crawling. The silence stayed still, and that stillness made me angrier. I grabbed my jacket and threw it on the couch instead of wearing it. They laugh at me behind my back but act kind to my face. Cowards. The words echoed, bouncing off empty space. I sat again, my voice low now. All those dinners. Fake warmth, fake love. Every bite tasted like family, but it was poison. My stomach churned. I pressed my palms into my eyes. How long have they seen me as a burden? I imagined the table again, Uncle Robert's booming laugh, Daniel's mocking tone, my father's dismissive eyes. They never thought I'd succeed, I muttered. They waited for me to fail. The thought settled heavy in my chest. Maybe that's why it hurts so much. They weren't surprised. They were entertained. My throat tightened. I wanted to scream, but instead I whispered, I hate them for this. The words shocked me, but I didn't take them back. I leaned back in the chair, staring at the ceiling. If they can mock me so easily, maybe they should hear themselves. The thought scared me at first. My pulse quickened. No, that's too much, isn't it? But another voice rose inside me. Why should they laugh in secret? Why should I be the only one bleeding? I clenched my fists. They deserve it. Every word should echo back at them louder. I stood, pacing faster, my feet slamming the floor. They called me weak, a failure. Let's see how strong they are. When their words play back in their faces. My reflection in the dark window stared back, hollow eyes, clenched jaw. I whispered to it, maybe I'm not weak after all. Maybe I'm the only honest one. I dropped back into the chair, breath ragged. The silence filled the room again, but now it wasn't empty. It was waiting, like it wanted to see what I would do next. I closed my eyes and muttered, sadness is gone, only anger's left now. My chest felt strange, hollow, yet burning. I pressed a hand against it. The silence in me isn't grief anymore. It's something else, something dangerous. I let the thought linger, then nodded slowly to myself. They laughed once, I whispered. Let them laugh again, this time with me watching. I sat at my desk, the video open on the screen. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Do I really want to do this? I whispered. The silence dared me. I opened a new email draft. The subject line filled itself in automatically. Family dinner. Might. Fingers trembled. What if I just send it back? I dragged the video file into the message window. Its name stared at me. Pathetic failure. MP4. I muttered, fitting name, might as well let them hear it. My hand hovered over the keys. Should I write something, a message, a curse? No, I said out loud. Let their own voices do the talking. I moved the cursor to the top of the screen, hovering over reply all. My stomach twisted. I whispered, if I do this, there's no going back. I closed my eyes and pressed it. Reply all. The message shot off. No words, just the video. I dropped, back into my chair, hands covering my face. God, what did I just do? For a moment I felt sick. My heart pounded. My breath came short. Then, slowly, the panic eased. A strange calm spread through me. They wanted me to feel small, I muttered. Now they'll choke on their own words. The first reply came within minutes. My phone buzzed. Uncle Robert. What the hell is this? Who do you think you are? Sending this around? I laughed bitterly. Who do I think I am? The one you called a dog, Uncle Robert. Another message appeared. Daniel this time. Wow, really? You're that desperate for attention? Grow up. I spoke to the screen. Attention! No, cousin, just giving you a mirror. Another buzz. Aunt Margaret. Please, don't make this worse. Let it go, I shook my head. Worse? This is the truth. The phone rang, Uncle Robert calling. I let it ring, then answered. What the hell do you think you're doing? His voice was sharp, furious. Just sharing what you all said? I replied, my tone flat. You don't get to embarrass me like this. You embarrassed yourself, Robert. I didn't say a word. That was all you. You think you're clever? You think this makes you strong? No, I said coldly. But it makes me honest. He swore and hung up. Almost instantly, Daniel called. I sighed and answered. You really think this is smart? His tone was smug but shaky underneath. I didn't think. I just hit send. Pathetic move. Everyone already knows you're a loser and now you're desperate enough to prove. It yourself? I smirked, though he couldn't see me. Funny. I didn't say a word in that video. It was all you, Daniel. He chuckled. Yeah, so what? You think anyone cares? Your fiancé might, I said, my voice sharp. What happens when she hears what you said? Silence. His laugh faded. You wouldn't, he said finally. I didn't have to. You said it yourself. He hung up. I stared at the screen as more replies rolled in. My mother's name appeared. I hesitated, then opened her email. Why did you send this? That was all she wrote. 4 words. I whispered, why did you laugh? My father's name never appeared. No message, no call. His silence was louder than any insult. I leaned back in my chair, breathing slow. The fear was gone now, replaced by something else. Power. For once, they were the ones scrambling. I picked up the phone and called Aunt Margaret. She answered quickly. You shouldn't have done that, she said, her voice trembling. They shouldn't have said it, I replied. Now you've started something you can't take back. I don't want to take it back. She sighed. Robert's furious. Daniel's humiliated. Your mother's upset. And my father? I asked. Quiet as always. I bit my lip. Figures. Please just don't push it further, she pleaded. I closed my eyes. They've pushed me my whole life. Now they can feel the weight of their own shove. She didn't answer. I ended the call. The room was still, the glow of the screen the only light. I whispered to myself, "It's done. No going back now." Yet instead of fear, calm spread through me again. "They wanted me to drown," I muttered. But I just pulled them in with me. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Notifications stacked one after another, each carrying anger, excuses, or silence. The first came from Daniel. That wasn't me. Someone edited my voice. I muttered, "Edited? Your laugh was louder than anyone's." A second followed from Uncle Robert. "This is out of context. It was a joke. You're blowing it up." I spoke to the empty room. "A joke?" I didn't hear anyone laughing with me. Then another, "Take that video down now. You're humiliating us." I smirked. "Now you know how it feels?" The screen lit again. Aunt Margaret. "Stop replying, just let them stew. They'll only make it worse." I whispered, "I don't need to reply. They're panicking without me." A new vibration. My mother. 4 words. "Why did you send this?" I stared at it. Out of everything, that message broke me the most. Not, "I'm sorry," not, "I should have stopped them." Just, "Why did you send this?" I called her. She answered after 2 rings. "Mom," I said, my voice tight. "You laughed at me." Her breath hitched. "It wasn't like that. I heard you. Everyone heard. You. You said I should move back home because I'm weak." I didn't mean it. "Then why say it?" Silence stretched. "Mom," I pressed, "do you know how that felt?" She whispered, "I was nervous. Everyone was laughing. I didn't." "Want to upset your father?" I gripped the phone tighter. "So you joined them instead of stopping him?" I didn't know what else to do. "You could have defended me." Her voice broke. "I'm sorry." Sorry doesn't erase it. I hung up. Almost instantly, the phone rang again. This time, my father's name glared at me. For a moment, I thought he'd break his silence. But the screen went dark, a missed call. "He didn't try again," I whispered. Of course. Silence, as always. Another buzz. Daniel again. "If you think this makes you look strong, you're wrong. Everyone just sees you as bitter." I laughed bitterly. Bitter? At least I'm not. A liar. Another came from Robert. "You've always been too sensitive. You can't take a joke. That's why you fail." I called him. He answered immediately, his voice booming. "Finally. Took you long enough." "Sensitive?" I asked. "Is that what you call betrayal?" "You take everything too seriously. You've always been soft. That's why you can't hold a job. Can't keep a woman—" "Shut up," I snapped. "I didn't fail because I'm soft. I failed because life is hard, and instead of helping me, you laughed." "You think you're the victim?" "I am the victim of your arrogance. You'll regret this," he barked. "No," I said coldly. "You will." I ended the call. The phone buzzed again. "Aunt Margaret," I answered. "They're furious," she said quietly. "Good. This family thrives on control. You've just shattered that. They controlled me my whole life. Not anymore." "You're stronger than you think," she whispered. I swallowed. I don't feel strong. I feel angry. And it feels good. The screen lit again. A message from my father this time. My heart jolted as I opened it. Just 3 words. "We expected this." I whispered, "Expected what? That I'd fight back?" I typed a reply but deleted it. No, he didn't deserve words. His silence, his coldness. It was all he ever gave me. The messages kept coming. Accusations, denials, half-hearted apologies. My phone buzzed until it grew hot in my hand. Finally, I set it down on the table. I stared at it vibrating, a little, box of chaos. I muttered, "For once, they can't control the story. They're scrambling, and I'm not afraid anymore." I leaned back, closed my eyes, and let the storm rage. For the first time, The silence in my chest wasn't empty. It was steady, strong. When the invitation came, I almost deleted it. A family dinner to talk it out. The words stank of control. But curiosity pulled me in. I walked into the dining room. Every eye turned toward me. "Glad you could make it," Uncle Robert said, his grin forced. I sat down. "You wanted to talk, so talk." The table was tense. Forks rested untouched, glasses half filled. Robert cleared his throat. "This has gotten out of hand. Margaret sent something she shouldn't have, and you reacted poorly." I stared at him. "Poorly? I sent back what you said. Your own words." Daniel leaned forward, smirking. "You should be grateful, actually. At least we care enough to talk about you." "Care?" I snapped. "Is that what you call it? Mocking me when I'm not there?" Daniel shrugged. "We were joking. You're too sensitive." "Sensitive?" My voice shook. "You called me a failure. My own father said I was nothing." My mother laughed. "That's not a joke." My mother's eyes darted down. "I didn't mean it," she whispered. "Then why laugh?" I asked, my voice cutting through the air. She fumbled with her napkin. "I didn't want to cause a scene." "You caused one anyway," I shot back. Robert slammed his hand on the table. "Enough, we're here to move past this." I glared at him. "You don't get to decide when this ends." He leaned closer. "I'm still the head of this family." "You'll respect that," I laughed bitterly. "Respect? You lost that the second you called me a stray dog." He blinked, surprised I remembered. Daniel cut in, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "You act like the world revolves around you. Everyone talks behind people's backs. Get over it." I turned to him. "You think it's normal to tell people I should disappear? You think that's harmless?" His smile faltered. "You're twisting it." "No, Daniel. For once, I'm not twisting anything." The video spoke for itself. My father finally spoke, his voice low but firm. "You've embarrassed us all. Do you realize what you've done?" I froze. "What I've done? You called me useless. You're embarrassed because people finally heard the truth." His eyes narrowed. "The truth is you failed at everything, and now you drag the family name with you." My hands trembled, but I didn't look away. "I failed, yes, but I tried. What did you ever try except tearing me down?" Silence fell. His jaw clenched. Aunt Margaret spoke softly. "He needed to hear it, Henry. All of you did." Robert turned on her. "This is your fault. You started this mess." She straightened her shoulders. "No. You started it when you mocked him instead of supporting him." He sneered. "You've always been weak, Margaret. Always siding with the broken ones." She didn't flinch. "Better that than being cruel." I looked at her, then back at the table. "She's the only one here who's been honest. The rest of you hide behind jokes and silence." Daniel scoffed. "You're acting dramatic. You always do." I slammed my hand down. The glasses rattled. "Do you think I wanted this? Do you think I enjoy sitting here begging for the family that raised me to treat me like a human being?" My voice cracked, but I kept going. "All I wanted was respect. Instead, you laughed. And when I showed you the mirror, you called me bitter." No one spoke. Their eyes shifted, searching for someone else to answer. Finally, my mother whispered, "I'm sorry." I looked at her, my throat tight. Sorry isn't enough anymore. Robert leaned back, his voice cold. "So what now? You burn every bridge? Walk away and pretend you're better than us?" I stared at him. "I don't have to pretend. Tonight proved I already am." Daniel muttered, "Pathetic." I turned to him, my voice sharp. "Say that again." He smirked but didn't repeat it. I pushed back my chair, the sound scraping across the floor. "This is over. Whatever family I thought I had died the moment you pressed record and laughed." My father's voice cut through. "If you walk out now, don't come back." I looked at him, my chest heavy but clear. "Good. Because I won't. I turned and walked away, their silence chasing me out the door. For the first time, I didn't feel weak. I felt free. The door slammed behind me that night, but the echo followed me long after. The adrenaline that had carried me through the dinner drained away, leaving only hollow silence. I muttered to myself, "That's it. Every bridge burned." My phone lay in my pocket, heavy but useless. No buzzes, no calls, no messages. I pulled it out anyway. The screen was blank. "Of course," I said aloud. "They're finished with me now." I walked the city streets, the neon lights flickering above. Strangers passed, talking, laughing, living their own lives. None of them knew me, and that almost felt like relief. I whispered, "Better strangers than traitors." But the silence in my chest didn't feel like peace. It felt like ashes. I found myself talking to the air, arguing with ghosts. Was it worth it? Was hitting send worth losing everything? A voice in my head answered, "They lost you long before that." I shook my head. "No, I lost them tonight." Another voice whispered, "You never had them to begin with." I stopped at a corner staring at the red light like it might answer me. Am I fighting for justice? Or am I just bitter? The question cut deeper than their insults. I imagined Robert's furious glare, Daniel's smirk, my father's cold voice. I clenched my fists. No, it wasn't justice. It was anger, and I liked it. The thought scared me. I muttered, "Does that make me like them?" The city answered with honking cars, not comfort. I sat on a bench, the cold metal seeping through my jacket. I opened my phone again, staring at the empty inbox. My thumb hovered over Aunt Margaret's name. I almost called her, but I stopped. What would I even say? I asked myself. That I'm alone? That I don't know if I'm right or wrong? I leaned forward, pressing my palms together. They called me weak. They called me nothing. And now, maybe I am nothing. Just louder. I let out a bitter laugh. Great. I've become the echo of their cruelty. But even as I said it, something in me resisted. No, I whispered. I'm not them. I didn't start this. They did. Yet another thought followed quickly. But you enjoyed ending it. My chest ached. So what am I now, victim or villain? I imagined sitting across from my father again. I asked the empty street. Would he be proud if I just stayed silent? If I kept being small? The words tasted bitter. I answered myself, no. He'd never be proud. Silence or not. I leaned back against the bench. Then maybe revenge is all I have left. If I can't win their love, I'll make them choke on their hate. The fire flickered again in my veins, pushing against the hollowness. But I closed my eyes and whispered, and when it's done, what's left of me? The silence didn't answer. I stayed there a long time, staring at the night sky through the haze of city lights. Finally, I stood, pocketed my phone, and walked on. The poet's street stretched endlessly ahead, just like the questions in my chest. The call came from Aunt Margaret. Turn on the news, she said. What now? I asked, exhausted. Just do it. I grabbed the remote, the screen flickering to life. A reporter's voice filled the room. Local businessman Robert Whitman is under investigation for fraud and tax evasion. My breath caught. Uncle Robert. Margaret's voice was sharp. His empire's crumbling. Clients are pulling out. It's everywhere. I leaned forward, staring at the headline scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So soon? Karma doesn't wait forever, she said. I muttered. I didn't lift a finger. You didn't have to. I ended the call, still staring. My phone buzzed again, this time a message from Daniel. You think this is funny? You think exposing Dad's business makes you a man? I typed back. I didn't expose anything. Maybe truth just caught up. Almost instantly he called. I answered. You smug bastard, he snapped. Why call me smug? I didn't start this. You triggered it. You sent that video, now everyone's digging. Reporters, bloggers. Your little stunt opened the door. I let silence hang for a moment, then asked, or maybe your father's lies opened it. He swore. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I didn't deny it. Maybe a little. You're sick, he hissed. Whispered, no, just vindicated. He hung up. I set the phone down, only for it to buzz again. This time, a different number. A woman's voice came through. Is this his cousin, Daniel Whitman? Yes, I said cautiously. I thought you should know. I broke off the engagement. I blinked. You're his fiancé? Ex, she corrected. I saw the video, online. The way he mocked you, mocked his own blood, it showed me who he really is. I want nothing to do with him. My throat tightened. You didn't have to call me. I wanted to, she said firmly. You deserved better than their cruelty. Goodbye. The line went dead. I stared at the phone, stunned. Someone had leaked the video beyond the family. I hadn't done it, but it was out there now, crawling across the internet. I muttered, so this is how it spreads. The phone buzzed again. Daniel this time, raging. You ruined my life, he screamed. I didn't send it to her, I replied calmly. Then who did? Does it matter? The words were yours. He groaned. You don't get it. She was everything. Now she's gone. And I was nothing, right? Isn't that what you said? He went silent. You said if you were me, you'd disappear. Funny. Now you're the one disappearing. He cursed and hung up. I sat there, the quiet ringing louder than his rage. For once, I wasn't the one bleeding. I whispered to myself, is this justice? Or just luck? The news kept running in the background, Robert's face plastered across the screen, Daniel's silence echoing in my ear. I closed my eyes. Do I feel guilty? The answer came quickly. Yes. And no. I stood, pacing. I didn't plan this, I didn't send it to her, but still. I wanted this, didn't I? My chest burned. Blessed or cursed? Which one is it? The city outside hummed, indifferent. I leaned against the window, staring at my reflection. Their cracks are showing, and I didn't even push. For the first time, I smiled, not with joy, but with something darker. Maybe Karma and I aren't. Enemies, I whispered. Maybe we're partners. The phone rang late at night. I almost ignored it, but the name made me pause. Aunt Margaret, I answered. What is it? Her voice was quiet. I owe you an apology. For sending me that video? No, she said firmly. For pretending it was a mistake. It wasn't. I froze. You sent it on purpose? Yes, my chest tightened. Why? Because you needed to see them, all of them, their true faces. I let out a bitter laugh. Mission accomplished. I'm sorry for the pain it caused, she said, but you've lived under their shadow for too long. I couldn't watch anymore. You think I didn't already know what they thought of me? Knowing in your gut is different than hearing it out loud. I pressed a hand against my forehead. So you wanted me to suffer? No, she whispered. I wanted you to wake up. I wanted you to stop begging for their approval. Her words stung because they were true. You sound like you've been through this yourself, I muttered. I have, she admitted. Robert mocked me for years, called me weak. Your father ignored me like I was invisible. I know how cruel they can be when they think no one's listening. I sat in silence, gripping the phone. So you decided to make me your ally in misery? No, she said softly. I wanted you to know you're not alone. I laughed hollow. Doesn't feel that way. It will, if you let me stand with you. Why should I trust you? I asked, my voice sharp. Because I was the only one who gave you the truth. Everyone else hides behind lies. Her answer was simple, but it didn't erase the doubt. In me? I said quietly, "You've been silent for years. Why now?" She hesitated. "Because I saw myself in you. Lost, hurt, trying so hard for scraps of love. And I knew where that road ends, alone and bitter. I couldn't let you keep walking." Her voice cracked at the end. I swallowed hard. "You're asking me to believe you're different, but you sat at those tables too. You heard the jokes, you never stopped them." Her breath hitched. "I was a coward." "At least you admit it," I muttered. "I can't change the past," she said, "but I can be here now." I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. "And what do you expect from me?" "Nothing," she whispered. "Just let me listen. Let me stand on your side when no one else will." Her words softened something in me, but the walls stayed up. I asked, "And if I fall apart again?" "Then I'll sit with you in the pieces." For the first time in days, I didn't know what to say. She filled the silence. "They'll keep trying to break you. But now, at least, you'll know one person isn't against you." I exhaled slowly. "I don't know if that's enough." "It's more than nothing," she said gently. I closed my eyes. "I want to believe you." "Then start small," she whispered. "Let me carry some of the weight." I nodded even though she couldn't see me. "I'll try. But don't expect me to trust overnight." "I don't," she said. "I only expect you not to shut me out completely." The line went quiet, but it wasn't the same silence I'd carried in my chest for weeks. This one felt lighter. I whispered, "Thank you, Aunt Margaret." "For what?" "For calling," I said. "For not pretending anymore." She breathed, out, shaky but relieved. "You're not alone, no matter what they want you to believe." We ended the call. For the first time, I didn't feel completely abandoned, but trust was a fragile thing, and mine was still cracked. I couldn't take it anymore, the silence from my father after the video. His voice had been the sharpest dagger in the recording, but afterward, nothing. Not a single call, not even a short message. That silence ate at me more than their laughter. Stood at his doorstep, my hand hovering before I finally knocked. The door opened slowly. My father stood there, tall, cold, unreadable. "What do you want?" he asked. I forced my voice steady. "To talk." He sighed but stepped aside. "Come." And then, the house smelled the same, wood polish and faint smoke. I sat across from him in the living room. He didn't offer me a drink. He didn't even look at me. I broke the silence. "You never called." He shrugged. What was there to say? Clenched my fists. "Maybe I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have called my son useless." He finally looked at me, eyes sharp. I didn't lie. My chest tightened. "You really believe that?" "Yes." His tone was flat. "You said you never expected much from me," I said, my voice trembling. "Do you know what that did to me?" "I told you the truth," he replied. "Better to hear it now than keep living in delusion." I leaned forward, anger boiling. "Delusion? You call trying, failing, and trying again delusion?" "You've been stumbling your whole life," he said. "Every job, every plan, every choice, it ends the same. Failure," I swallowed hard. "And instead of helping me, you sat back and laughed." "I don't coddle," he snapped. "The world doesn't hand out comfort. If you wanted respect, you should have earned it." I shook my head. "Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you show, and you never showed me any." He leaned back, his expression unreadable. "Because you never deserved it." The words hit harder than the video ever could. I whispered, "So that's it? You raised me believing I'd never be enough?" "I raised you to prove me wrong," he said coldly. I stared at him. And when I failed, you were proud to be right. He didn't answer. His silence was worse than his insults. I pressed harder. Did you ever love me? His jaw tightened. Love isn't about words. Then show me, I snapped. Show me something. Anything. Prove I mattered. He stood, towering over me. You mattered when you succeeded. That's all. My chest burned. That's not love. That's performance. He looked down at me. If you want comfort, go to your mother. I don't waste time on weakness. I rose to my feet, shaking. Weakness? No, weakness is a man who can't even admit he loves his own son. His eyes narrowed. Careful. No, I said firmly. I've been careful my whole life. Careful not to upset you. Careful not to ask too much. And what did it get me? Nothing. He crossed his arms. You're still blaming me for your failures? I'm not blaming you, I said. I'm exposing you. He frowned. Exposing me to who? To myself, I whispered. He scoffed. You sound pathetic. No, I said, meeting his gaze. I sound free. For the first time, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Surprise, maybe even doubt. I stepped toward the door. You'll never change, and for the first time, I accept that. Running away again? He asked. I turned back. No, walking away. There's a difference. He said nothing, just stood there, arms crossed, as if he'd already dismissed me. I opened the door. The air outside hit me like a rush of water. I whispered to myself, he'll never give me what I wanted, and I don't need it anymore. As I walked away, I felt shattered, but in the cracks, something new had begun to grow. The headlines spoke louder than I ever could. Businessman Robert Whitman faces fraud charges. Daniel Whitman's engagement collapses amid leaked family scandal. I didn't write the articles. I didn't leak the video further. But there it was, karma unfolding piece by piece. My phone rang. My mother's name. I answered. Please, she begged, her voice shaking. Let this go. It's tearing us apart. It's already apart, I said. Robert's losing everything. Daniel can't leave the house without whispers. Don't you think it's enough? Enough? My voice hardened. Did they stop when they called me a failure? Did you stop when you laughed? She whimpered. I regret it every day. Regret doesn't erase scars, I muttered. She pleaded, we're still family. Family doesn't destroy each other for fun. Silence. Then a soft, I don't want to lose you. You already did, I said, and ended the call. Another buzz. Daniel. Against my better judgment, I answered. You smug bastard, he hissed. Do you enjoy watching my life burn? I didn't light the fire. You might as well have. That video ruined me. She left because of it. Everyone's laughing at me now. I almost laughed. So you know how it feels, his voice cracked. Shut up! You told me to disappear, Daniel, but you're the one vanishing now. He cursed and hung up. Later that night, another call, Uncle Robert. His voice was hoarse, drained of power. You think this makes you better than me? No, I said calmly, just not worse. I built everything with my own hands. One mistake, and they want me gone. You think they won't do the same to you? I don't lie and cheat people, Robert. That's why you're falling, not me. He snarled. Don't get comfortable. Your time will come. I smiled bitterly. Maybe. But right now, it's your turn. I hung up, the sound of his anger still ringing in my ears. The days passed and the cracks widened. Robert's company lost clients daily. Lawsuits piled up. His face on TV wasn't proud anymore. It was desperate. Daniel stayed quiet after that last call. Rumors spread online. His ex-fiancée had spoken to reporters, telling them she left. Him because of cruelty she couldn't ignore. I didn't move a finger, yet everything collapsed around them. Aunt Margaret called one evening. "They're breaking apart," she said. "I know. Do you feel better?" I hesitated. "Yes." "And no. What do you mean?" "It feels good to see their pride crumble. But it doesn't heal me." She sighed. "Karma punishes, but it doesn't fix." Her words sat heavy in my chest. Another night, my mother showed up at my apartment. She stood at the door, tears streaking. Her face. "Please," she begged, "stop feeding this chaos." "I didn't feed it," I said. "It grew on its own." "They're your family. They were my executioners." Her shoulders slumped. "Can't you forgive?" I shook my head. "Not this time," she whispered. "You sound like a stranger." "Maybe I always was," I replied. She left without another word. I sat in the silence afterward, conflicted. I whispered to myself, "They're finally paying the price. So why do I still feel broken?" The truth echoed in me. I wasn't seeking their downfall. I was seeking my freedom. Watching them fall didn't heal the wound, but it made sure I wasn't the only one bleeding anymore. Their pride had turned to ashes, and for once, I wasn't afraid. I sat in my apartment again. Same walls, same furniture, same silence. But this time, it didn't crush me. It felt different. I muttered to myself, "It's quieter now, not empty, just mine." The notebook lay on the table. I opened it, staring at the blank page. "Where do I even start?" I whispered. My hand hesitated, then moved. The first words I wrote. They called me a failure. I stared at the line, hearing their voices again, but the sound didn't sting the way it once did. I spoke into the stillness. That word used to break me. Now it just reminds me who they are. I kept writing, the pen scratching across the page. Memories poured out. Robert's sneer, Daniel's smirk, my mother's weak laughter, my father's silence. "This isn't their story anymore," I said softly. "It's mine." My phone buzzed. A message from my mother. "Can we talk?" I whispered to the screen. "Talk about what?" "How you laughed. How you stayed quiet." I didn't reply. Instead, I wrote, "I don't forgive, but I let go." The words surprised me. I repeated them aloud. "I let go." The phone buzzed again. This time, Daniel. "You ruined everything. I hope you're happy." I laughed quietly. "Happy? No, but I'm not broken anymore." I wrote, "Their downfall isn't my victory. My survival is." The notebook filled slowly, page by page. Every sentence pulled the weight off my chest. I paused, looking at the pen in my hand. For once, I'm not writing to beg. I'm writing to breathe. Another message came. Uncle Robert. "You think you won? You're nothing without us," I whispered back. "I was nothing with you." I didn't answer him either. Instead, I wrote, "They may never see me as more than a failure, but I don't need their approval anymore." The thought settled in me like a stone in water, sinking deep but steady. I stood looking around my apartment. The silence wrapped around me, but not like chains. Like shelter. I whispered, "They can. Keep their pride, their ashes, their regrets. I'll keep my voice." I closed the notebook and set it aside. For the first time since the video, I felt free.